emerge from underneath the broken ramp, and then Taz would emerge from underneath.
How cool was that?
That was so. That to me, that was just such a great finish.
Yeah, and then you have Shane Douglas complaining the whole time.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, because when Bam Bam first came from underneath, he's like, Bam Bam! It's like he's alive. It's like he's... And then Taz comes out from behind. Then he puts him in the Taz mission.
I want to say something real quick. WWE turned this great talent, Shane Douglas, into a fucking teacher.
Dean Douglas.
Think about that. They killed him with a gimmick, and he's this good. Like, it's just aggravating.
Yeah, well, they did that, and they actually all three of these people that we've been naming off in this match, because you got Shane on commentary. He went there and he was Dean Douglas. Bam Bam, he could have been a way bigger deal in WWF for sure. Such a great big man. And then he
had problems with a certain group of men. So
yeah, well, and he's not the only one, but and then there was also Taz, which I mean, he was great in ECW and he's an absolute legend, but if you think about it and you look at the WWE and you look at, I guess, what Vince likes or whatever, I mean, it's not surprising that things turned out the way it did for him, unfortunately.
No, it's not.
Because, I mean, he's on like the smaller size, not in terms of like he's big. Like Taz was he was pretty big back then. Like he was built. He was jacked.
Did we say how he won?
Yeah, I was getting into that. Like, he was jacked, but once again, it's like back in the WWF, like you had to at least be like 6'1", 6'2", really to get like any kind of like look. Maybe even taller than that actually back at some point. But that's that. But yeah, so Taz would emerge from underneath once again. He'd run up and hop on Bam Bam's back and then apply the Taz mission, the Kata Hajime, and then from there Bam Bam would submit and Taz would win this match. I thought it was a very fun battle, and I really loved the finish. That's what helped put it over the top for me.
Yeah, you liked it more than I did, though.
Yeah, you gave it a 3. I gave it a 3.5.
Yep, I liked it. I just thought it could have been better, but the finish was awesome.
Yeah, that's a really good one for me.
I really liked after he won, he foot touching.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not it. So Taz would win the match. He'd keep the FTW title 13 minutes, 21 seconds. But then afterwards, Taz would grab the microphone and tell Shane Douglas to beat him if he can, survive if he lets you, or lets him.
Yeah.
So then we'd have the main event, a 6-man tag team street fight. It would be Spike Dudley, Tommy Dreamer, and the Sandman versus the Dudleys, Big Dick Dudley, Devon, and Bubba Ray, with the Jeff Jones, Sign Guy Dudley, and Joel Gertner. Before this match, we'd have a video package for this one as well, which I guess makes sense considering that Bam Bam and Taz and the 6-man tag are the two main matches. Before the match, we'd have a promo from the Dudleys with Bubba Ray calling out anyone from WWF and WCW to come and challenge them. And then Bubba Ray would also call out the fans, trying to draw as much heat as possible, like they always did. I loved
how we called it. I loved how, was it Devon or him that called it the WCW? They even used the...
Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah.
So...
I'll say this. Sandman is probably in the worst shape I've ever seen a wrestler.
But the crowd loved him. What can I say? He's like one of the most popular acts in the history of ECW.
Yep. It's a shame we can't hear his damn theme.
Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't even hear Dreamer's proper theme. It just came out to like the WWE edited one that they tried getting in.
It's terrible. Not as good as ECW.
Yeah, I know. And this wasn't like the one he used like in like the ECW reboot one. Like this is just like just some made up one they made. Just like
the same thing with Sandman.
I know, it's like such a shame. Like the songs I'd want to hear most on this one. I'd want to hear Van Dam's for sure. Man in the Box with Dreamer, and then Sandman didn't come out to his music, so I guess we didn't have to worry about that one this time.
Yeah, that's true.
I recently saw an Instagram and Twitter actually, that someone had posted the clip of. They actually found the actual footage of the night of the ECW One Night Stand 05 pay-per-view when he made the entrance and he actually had the music. Yeah, it was so great. That was so great. So we start the match with Devon and Dreamer. They'd have a good opening sequence under normal circumstances. I just don't understand it because they're trying to have like a straight-up wrestling match and a street fight.
Well, not only that, just how hot the rivalry was at this point, you can't just have a wrestling match when a feud gets to this point.
Yeah, so at that point, we're already, for me, just
this
not
guy,
off to the greatest start.
This guy broke your wife's neck. You can't go out there and try to roll him up.
Yeah, you're not going to try to out-wrestle the guy.
If a guy breaks your wife's neck, you're going to go out there and try to fucking kill him.
Yeah. Well, that, and then it goes back to the whole thing of, it goes back to what I was saying about the, actually, this case is worse, because the Van Dam and Sabu match I still thought was good. But I think in this case it's even worse just because it's supposed to be like a street fight and they're making tags and they're having an actual match in the beginning. So that to me it just threw it off from the beginning. So then Bubba and Spike would be in the match. They start with Bubba gaining the power advantage over Spike. So far it's just a normal 6-man tag. Then everyone's up on the apron. They're making tags. Pretty basic stuff. Not the way I thought it was going to go, to say the least. Bubba would dominate against Spike, but then eventually Spike would fight back, and then Sandman and Big Dick Dudley would enter the match. The two would exit the ring and bring the fight to the outside. Finally, everyone would then start to fight each other outside of the ring. Then Sandman and Bubba would fight back in the ring. Sandman would hit Bubba with the Frankensteiner and then bring a ladder into the match. Spike Dudley would climb that ladder and would die, and then Sandman would just... Actually, I don't think he didn't tip it. I think Spike just simply jumped off of it on top of all of them. Did he tip it, or...?
No, he jumped.
Okay. Because either way, it wouldn't surprise me, because, In the ring, Sandman would hit a senton off the top on Devon with the ladder placed on top of him. A little later, Bubba would hit a back splash on Dreamer with the ladder placed on top of him. Then Spike would hit Bubba with the acid drop. That's the name of the move. He'd go for the pin, and Devon would break it up. Then Devon is also busted open. At this point, a whole bunch of stuff is going on. Sign Guy would get in the ring, and Dreamer would place him in the figure 4 leg lock, applying pressure on the already injured leg. Then Jeff Jones would get in the ring and break that up. Then Jeff Jones would grab the doll that was supposed to represent Beulah McGillicuddy and hit it with the pile driver. And then Tommy would see this and hit him with the pile driver. And Joe Gertner would get in the ring, and Tommy would place him in the Tree of Woe. Then all the Dudleys, including him, would be placed in the Tree of Woe. And then with the help of the official, they'd each hit a baseball slide drop kick into each of them with a chair in each of their faces. That is ECW for you right there.
Yeah. But Cameron, we're building to it. Let's wait. Someone's about to come out.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. Well,
I know.
It's like the referee hitting a baseball slide or a drop kick into somebody with a chair in their face, or it's like that, or the referee he'd get on his back and then Kid Cash would jump off to his dive on all the wrestlers, just stuff like that. That's the only place you'd see that was ECW. So then Tommy Dreamer would hit Devon with the Dreamer Driver and cover him, but it would be broken up. And then fast forwarding later, with everyone else down and out, Bubba would go for a splash on Dreamer, but would miss, landing on the ladder. Then Tommy would hit him with the DDT on the ladder and would pin him to win the match. So the winners of this would be Tommy Dreamer, Spike Dudley, and the Sandman. 14 minutes, 26 seconds. I'm not going to lie, this was kind of my least favorite match of the night. It was the main event, but overall I still thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, for sure. How much do you love New Jack?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the last part. After the match, Jack Victory would appear and hit Tommy Dreamer over the head with a guitar. Then him and the Dudleys would beat down on Tommy. This was until New Jack would arrive and kick everyone's ass. He'd bring in a stop sign, a guitar, a hockey stick, a garbage can.
Well, his theme played the whole time.
A shopping cart. Yeah, that's the other thing. I wish they had his actual theme song, too.
I know.
But, I mean, the guy...
They can't, because it's an NWA song, right?
Yeah, it's Ice Cube and Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought, yeah, and they didn't want to pay for it. ECW just didn't give a shit.
Well, they used Well, a lot of the theme songs were just popular songs
Yeah.
at the time. But I mean, New Jack, he came out there. You know, he used the hockey stick and he
He
hit it.
clotheslined the guy with a
He
shopping
goes to the guy with the shopping cart. He brought out a hockey stick and he just hit a guy in the nuts with a stop sign on him. And he busts a guitar over a guy's head and,
Just insane.
Yeah. So that's how the show would end. They'd each get up on the ladder. Well, New Jack, Sandman, and Dreamer would get up on the ladder, and Spike would just, he'd march around the ring, do his pose. And that's how the show would end. Final rating for this one, I went ahead and gave this an 8. I thought it was actually a great pay-per-view.
Yes, I gave it a 7.5. Once again, I thought it was great too. Really good show.
Things to watch for this one. Definitely the Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka match. I'd say Taz and Bam Bam for me, but honestly, I'd probably just recommend the whole show in general, really.
Same with me. It's just the feel of an ECW show. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so that's ECW Heat Wave 98. This is Rewind number 34. Hope you guys like this one. I'm going to take some time and just run off some final reminders. First being that if you don't follow us on social media on any of our platforms, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JNC Radio or JNC_radio. That is JAND, capital ANDC _radio. Like our official Facebook page. Our social media pages are the best way to stay on top of everything JNC Radio related. And also, we're available on all major podcasting platforms. And if we're not on something that you have, and let us know. We'll do our best to try to fix that. But we're basically on everything, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, you name it. Basically on there. And once again, if you hadn't heard any of our previous shows from this past week, whether that's our Slammiversary 2020 review and recap, or the Horror Show at Extreme Rules recap, or our Great American Bash 2008 bonus rewind show to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the program, be sure to check those out as well. We'll be back here next week with Rewind number 35, WWF SummerSlam 1992. And that's all the time we have for you guys here on this Sunday afternoon. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and peace out.